All praise, glory, and honor most due to the Most High, the God of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to you in the name of His Son. I come truly a blessing each and every single time that I can come before you to preach the word. Never do I count it as a light thing to do so. And I'm gonna start off by telling a story that I've told many times. The title of this short lesson is "When It's Too Late." And my best friend, we're coming into the word. Best friend from high school. One of the things he said when I was coming into it, I wasn't, maybe I was, I don't know, but I was very, this was like 2002, when I'm talking to him about this. And I'm like, man, I'm showing him what the word says. I'm excited, and we were, just to put it in perspective, this how much we were on the same wavelength when it came to certain things. If we were going out somewhere, because we were good friends from freshman year all the way through college. And if we were going somewhere, man, he'd come over to my house, I'd go to his house, and I'd knock on the door, man. Nothing planned like this, man. This man to have on the same thing I had on. I say, hey, man, I don't know what you're doing, but this isn't twin day, go change. Or same thing, if he came to my house, that's, laughed at the same things, just, got along really well. And well, I showed him this. One of the things he said was that I believe you're telling the truth. It always stuck with me. He said, I believe you're telling the truth, but I know you're right, but I'm too young. I want to have fun. It's not the time. And I knew right then, I was young, but I knew right then that wasn't logical. That didn't make any sense because, time is always fleeting. We are finite creatures. We don't have tomorrow promised unto us. So it could be that you very well hear the word one day and die the next day in your sin. And, a lot of times we move as if we always had this time, but there's a time when it can run out, and it can even run out when dealing with the Most High. Okay. So now let's just go to Ecclesiastes. Matter of fact. Okay. Ecclesiastes. Also, we're going to practice decorum on this page. Not just today, but period. Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, in verse 1. Here he's telling you when, matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah, the 55th chapter first. Because there's a time, brothers and sisters, where you need to be seeking them. And we're going to find out what that is. This is Isaiah 55th chapter, Isaiah 55 and verse 1. He says, Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. And he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. He's talking about acquiring the words. You need to seek it. Okay, and he likens it to those things that will keep you alive, those things for your sustenance. And he said, come by, eat without money and without price. He said, wherefore or why? That's what wherefore means. He says, wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread? Why are you paying for that which is not bread? That's what many people are doing. They did it today. They acquiring a word that is not really the truth. It's not really going to feed you and nourish your spirit. He says, hearken diligently unto me and eat that which is good and delight yourself. The soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. So he's telling you what he'll do. He said, behold, I have given him for a witness to the people, as leader, a commander to the people. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knowest not, and nations that knew not thee shall run unto thee because of the Lord thy God, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he hath glorified thee. Then he says something. He says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Okay, so if you're seeking, and if it's telling you to seek him while he may be found, that's the time when he can't be found. Okay, or it could be too late. He said, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. See, it's a certain time in which you should be seeking him. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. This wise king tells us, King Solomon, Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. When should we be seeking him? Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, in verse 1. He says in Ecclesiastes 12:1, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. What does he mean? When you're young, that's the best time to seek him. He said, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Now, what does he mean by that? He says, before you get old and before your body breaks down. That's the sort of ideal time. It's not to say if you're just coming into the truth and you 89 years old, that you should, I'm too old to deal with it. No, that's just not the opportune time. See, there could be a time, it could be a late time. Well, it's too late. We're going to get to that. So it says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. So now he's, in this figurative way, he's talking about the breakdown of the body. So the keepers of the house are your hands. You've seen the older people, sometimes they get the shake, so their hands are tremble. He said, the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinder cease because they are few. Okay, so you get bent over your knees, and then it says, grinder cease, your teeth fall out of your mouth, they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. You lose your vision, and the door shall be shut in the streets. You lose your hearing. When the sound of the grinding is low, he shall rise with the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay, then he says something in verse 7. He says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. What spirit? The Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So that's a spirit. Okay, just so you know that Psalms is Job, the 27th chapter. He says something in verse 3. All the while my breath is in me, and the spirit of God is in my nostrils. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. So we know what we're talking about here. Okay, so at that point it's too late. But that could have it. When can that happen? Let's go to John. The Messiah had to tell his own brothers that. This is one second. Let's pick it up at John the 7th chapter. And I just want to get right to it. Because when, his brothers tell him to go up, now his own people, he came up to his own and his own received him. Now his own people are trying to kill him. So let's pick it up in verse 1. It says, John 7:1, the gospel according to John chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, after these things, Jesus walked in Galilee, for he would not walk in Jewry because the Jews sought to kill him. So he couldn't walk amongst his own because they sought to kill him. Then it says, now the Jews' feast of tabernacles was at hand. His brethren therefore said unto him, now his own brethren said this, depart hence and go into Judea, that thy disciples also may see the works that thou doest. For there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh to be known openly. If thou do these things, show thyself to the world. Now we just read that Jewry sought to kill him. You keep reading about the Messiah and the Mashiach, they were constantly trying to kill him. He dip and dodge, get out of the way. But he knew the time he would have to die. You read in Matthew the 26th chapter, it tells you, hey, on the day of the Passover is the day where the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Verses 1 and 2. But now, he says in verse 5, John writes, for neither did his brethren believe in him. So his own brethren didn't believe in him. So if your own family members believe you crazy, your friends think you're crazy, or they don't, those relationships are severed. Hey, he came to bring a sword. And you in good company because his own family members didn't believe in him. That's why he said, who is my mother and my brother, my sister, those that do the will of my father. So they didn't believe in him, but they're telling him to go up, even though they're trying to kill him. And he tells them something. He says in verse 6, then Jesus said unto them, my time is not yet come. But listen to this. He says, but your time is always ready. So it could be too late. But that can happen at any time. So if that can happen at any time, brothers, 2 Corinthians, that should put something on your mind. You act like just because you're young, you're supposed to get old. You act like just because you live in the day, you're supposed to be alive tomorrow. That, brothers and sisters, people die. Somebody died today. You realize that, right? A lot of people died today. Matter of fact, let's just look up that stat. Because we don't want to think about it, but we need to. Let's see. Let's just see. Just in America alone. Wow. Okay, so the average per day, 109 people die per day. Oh, that might be gun deaths. Hold on. Wow, hold on. Goodness. That's just done. Hold on. Let's go back. I knew that was kind of low. That was just gun deaths. Okay. In America, this is according to the United Nations World Population Prospects reports, approximately 7,452 people die every day in the United States. In other words, a person dies in the U.S. approximately every 12 seconds. So you count 12 seconds on average, somebody dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Somebody dead. But 5 people in a minute. So it says in a world, roughly 150,000 people die. That's according to Wikipedia. Take it for what it's worth. But 150,000 die on average every single day. All right. So it can be too late. Like I said, just because you're young don't mean you're supposed to get old. And just because you're alive today don't mean you'll be alive tomorrow. How many funerals have you been to? People sit around in funerals like that's not going to be them. One second. Okay. Oh, my father had to leave a text. 2 Corinthians, the 6th chapter, and verse 1. He says, we then as workers together with him beseech you also that ye receive not the grace of God in vain. So he's working as in the ministry. When you look at what he gave in the ministry in Ephesians, the 4th chapter, he gave it all. Why? For the perfecting of the saints. Let's just read that real quick. Hold your finger there. That's why he gave it. Just a side note, he says in verse 11, and he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ. Okay, so now he said in verse 2 of 2 Corinthians 6, he says, for he says, I have heard thee in a time accepted, and in the day of salvation have I secured or helped thee. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. It's about right now. It's about right now. Not tomorrow, right now. See, let's go to let's see. Let's see. Let's go to go back to the Gospels. And let's pick it up. I think it's in Luke. Yeah, Luke, the 23rd chapter. Because People often talk about this repentant thief, and they make a lot of, as a matter of fact, they make a lot of their misstatements, like he went to heaven. Well, that's not accurate. He said, no man hath ascended into heaven. He said, where I go, ye cannot come. Okay? There's no soul inside of you. You are the soul, and Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathing was not the breath of life, and man became a living soul. But one thing I think oftentimes people miss is this right here. This is in verse. Now he's on a cross. He's about to die. Not just the Messiah, but he's between two thieves. He made his grave with the wicked, with the rich in his death. Okay, the rich in his death, when he was putting in a rich man's tomb, Joseph of Arimathea, the wicked in his death, not that he was wicked, but that these men were thieves. It says in verse 39, 23 and 39 of Luke, it says, and one of the malefactors which were hanged railed on him, saying, if thou be Christ, save thyself and us. So he had the wrong mindset. Well, the other answering rebuked him, saying, dost not thou fear God, seeing thou art in the same condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we receive the due reward of our deeds, but this man had done nothing amiss. And he said, listen to what he said. For people who say he's going to heaven, like I said, they're not paying attention. And he said unto Jesus, Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. His kingdom is coming here. He's going to establish a kingdom on this earth. There's going to be a resurrection. And there's going to be a change in body. That's how you're going to get into the kingdom. And Jesus said unto him, verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be with me in paradise. Okay? So he cut it. I'm pointing this out because he cut it so short. He cut it so short to the point it just so happens that he's gonna gain salvation. But that show you it could be up to that point. But at the same time, that's cutting very short. That's why I say, remember that I created in the days of thy youth. You want to do it as soon as you have some understanding. Okay? You don't have the luxury to just, I'm gonna just sit around and I'm gonna just, I'm gonna play around, and when I get ready, I'm gonna you don't want to do that. Because you don't want to die and you don't want to have it and then lose it. You can die in your sins. But let's go to the last place, Matthew the 25th chapter. Matthew the 25th chapter. Matthew the 25th chapter, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Matthew the 25th chapter and verse 1. It says, then shall the kingdom of heaven be like unto 10 virgins. So now we just read one. He said, remember me when thou comest in thy kingdom. And he's telling you in this parable about a kingdom, the heaven, which is going to be on earth. And he says, just so we understand, so people, because sometimes people will say heaven, not realizing that heaven, the earth is referred to as heaven as well in the Bible. The sky where the birds fly, and the third heaven, Paul talked about, that's where the Father and the Son dwell, and then no man is going there. You've been in the airplane, you probably haven't been in one recently, but you've been in an airplane in the past, you've been in that heaven. You standing on, or you on the earth, that's referred to as heaven in the Bible as well. So that's in that, just to clear that up. Matthew 5:3, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The poor in spirit are the meek. Okay, those are the humble, and they're going to inherit the earth because they're going to inherit the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be on earth. And when you look at New Jerusalem, he said, I saw New Jerusalem coming down as a bride prepared for her husband. He said, I go to prepare, in John 14 chapter, I go to prepare a place for you. If I go, I shall come again and bring you into myself. Right? So understand, it's all about on this earth. You read keep reading Revelation, you're going to see the Father and the Son on this earth. Okay? We're all resurrected beings, no more flesh and blood. But nevertheless, so John said, where I go, ye cannot come. You see that 3 times in John. Also in John, no man hath ascended up to heaven. I just want to clear that up because people, sometimes they get this misconstrued. So it says in verse 1, Matthew 25:1, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. Okay, now, but it says something here. It says, and the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are going out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. So lest there not be enough for us and you, but go rather to them and sell and buy for yourselves. In other words, you should have been prepared. It says, while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Understand? So now it was too late. Seek him while he may be found. Call upon him while he's near. Remember that created in the days of thy youth. It was too late. He said, but he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. Okay, so you have to be prepared. You can't be waiting. It could be too late. It could be too late. Let's just show you an example of this. One more example. This is in Genesis, and I read this, I believe, the last time I came before you. But Genesis, maybe that was going Bible study. I can't remember. It's all a blur. But all praise to the Most High for any edification. This is Genesis, the 7th chapter. And I want to pick it up at verse 15, because one thing about this, if you read the account of Noah, it's funny, I just recently saw that movie 2012, and I didn't realize how old that movie was. And it was funny because at the end of it, this ain't no spoiler alert, but anyway, the ships that, you think they're going to make ships because they know the end of the quote unquote end of the world as they know it is coming. And they're trying to preserve life. So they're trying to take ships to space, but what they actually made were arcs. Okay. And they bought tickets and all this foolishness. But here you see Noah actually built an ark. Noah built an ark, and the Bible says also that he was a preacher of righteousness. So all this while he's a test, he's showing you and telling you what you need to do, and therefore you have an opportunity to repent. But nobody got on that boat but Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. 8 souls were saved. Okay. Now it says, once he got on that ark, it says in verse 15, Genesis 7:15, and they went in unto Noah, into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him. And it says something. It says, and the Lord shut him in. Why does it make a point to say the Lord shut him in? Because you're not getting in. It's too late. So my question is, what you waiting on? What you waiting for? The time is now. The time is now to serve him. It could be too late. Lord, open to us. He said, I know you're not. It can be too late, brothers and sisters. It can be too late. And with that, I want to remind you that we're at the Household of Faith. Under normal circumstances, we meet every Sabbath at 5925 West 25th Avenue in Gary, Indiana at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. However, due to this situation that you clearly know about, we will be live streaming our services at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on the Institute YouTube channel, as well as on our website until further notice. If you've been edified through the ministry and would like to leave a donation, you can do so on our website, www.israelteach.org. 100% of the proceeds go to the work of the ministry. In addition, we have Bible study every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Zoom. And that's 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Zoom. If you're interested in being a part of that Bible study, you can simply look at the instructions in this video description, and you will see the meeting ID number and how to do that. Also, the following books are available on Amazon.com, where other books are sold. Into Egypt Begin with Ships, The Pagan Origins of Christian Holidays, Hell Like War, Feel Like Burn Brass, For Then Shall Be Great Tribulation. Let me start over. Into Egypt Begin with Ships, Killing Black Innocents, The Pagan Origins of Christian Holidays, Hell Like War, Feel Like Burn Brass, For Then Shall Be Great Tribulation, and In Defense of Biblical Polygyny. In addition, the other books coming soon. So with that, brothers and sisters, stay in prayer. Keep praying that the Lord be merciful to his people in this time, and be prayerful, be diligent, be pragmatic. And with that, brothers and sisters, it's always my prayer that you are edified.